I think I heard Schofield do it like as a 2-5-1, and I thought, man, I love that sound. I'm gonna figure out all the different inversions. This thought experiment, right? It might not make good music, but at least you're working on thinking of what the intervals are doing, right? So it's good for your brain.
Oh, wow. Noel,
Well, hey,
thanks so much for being on the show, man. Welcome
my
to
pleasure.
Playback.
Honored to be here. Thanks for asking me to do it.
So a little bit of a different location than where we're normally at. We are on site right now at the Woodshed Guitar Experience with Andy Wood, and we figured we'd kind of carve out some time here to nerd out on some guitar stuff. I'm really excited for this conversation because you are one of my favorite guitar players on the internet, especially guitar teachers, because you are a giant nerd, I would argue.
Yes,
Yeah.
and getting more giant because I eat too much.
And one of the cool things, I mean, I've been following your work for a really long time and really enjoying all of the different rabbit holes that you go down. You've written books about modal arrangement, like basically harmonizing modes. You've written books about these like 4-note universes, and you're constantly posting on Instagram like different random sort of excursions, musical excursions that you go on, and I just thoroughly enjoy them. And I want to go on one today.
Okay, let's do it.
So if you wouldn't mind, I would love to maybe explore this idea of writing etudes with you to explore specific technique. Specific techniques. Can you talk to us about how you write an etude?
Okay, so an etude is essentially a piece of music that is supposed to teach you something that you can use for something else, right? So if there's a sound or a technique or a shape or that I don't know well enough yet and I want to get it into my playing, I generally will like to write an etude that uses that thing that then I can use it. Like if I really know it like multiple ways, then I can use it. So when you're writing an etude, you just have to think deeply about like, okay, what are all the possibilities, or a lot of the possibilities that I can use. So there's one particular thing. It's in my voicing modes book, right? So it uses this chord right here. This chord. Yeah. It's actually like it's like C major 6 with a 7th is how you can think of it. If you think of it as a C. If you think of it as an A minor, it's like an A minor add 2. Yep. But with a C in the bass.
Yep. Inversion.
So I just thought that was such a beautiful chord. Yeah. So I think I heard Schofield do it like as a 2-5-1, That has this like kind of, it's not so plain as that, or
kind of closed voice 6 chord in a way.
And I thought, man, I love that sound. I'm gonna figure out all the different inversions.
Yeah.
So there's this one. You can do the arpeggio. So.
Wow, that's cool.
So you got to work out.
The top is so nice.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
Yeah.
All right. So you can maybe use the caged method, I guess, to come up with other like places to play it. Sure. But generally, I did it like inversions, like here's the maybe it needs reverb, but I can't remember all of them, but anyway, so I'm like, okay, where does it fit? So okay, it can fit on as a 1 chord, like the thing Schofield did. Yeah. It could also be a 4 chord. So in fact, Herbie uses it too, but he'll put the G. He's like so nice,
That's really
anyway,
nice.
but like, but you can think of it as like a Lydian chord as well, So if it's like.
So in that case, you're thinking about it with the major 6 and the sharp 4?
Well, I'm just saying that, well, the same interval structure, 1, 3, 6, and 7, also fits in a Lydian sound, right?
I see, yeah.
It's like the wormhole that can fit these multiple.
Right, it can be the 4 chord or the 1 chord.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But it also works in melodic minor on the 3. So if like you're doing something in melodic minor, so if that's the 3, you're in A melodic minor, right? So a common sound that you might hear in melodic minor might be, I don't know, the 4 chord, like the Lydian dominant sound. Look. I should put that in the looper, huh? So, actually, here's what I'll do. I'll put that line in the looper.
In the looper. Yeah,
and I'll show the different contexts. It's
yeah,
kinda
that's
cool.
great.
Like, I love teaching with the looper because, or practicing with the looper, just because you can do instant feedback. Yeah. Let's see.
This podcast is really a labor of love, and the function is really to share the incredible stories and inspiration to help you along your journey as a musician. If you want to help the show, one of the best ways that you can do it is to click the subscribe button below, leave us a comment, or leave us a like. That helps tell YouTube to spread this to more people like you. Additionally, we've been thinking about cool ways that we can add more value to our community here. And our nerdy team over here has come up with a really cool new software tool for you. Basically, it's a slow down and looping tool for all of the platforms that you learn guitar on. It lives in your browser on top of YouTube and Instagram, and it allows you to slow things down, loop different sections so you can really focus and learn things from all of these videos. It's a super cool tool. I use it every single day myself, and we want to give it to you as the viewer for free. So all you need to do is click the link below, register for that, install it on your computer, and that is our gift to you. So with that, we'll get back into the episode.
So you can do, so if it's a 1 chord, you can play anything in the key of C, right? So. So that's C.
The diatonic.
Yeah.
Kind of,
and if you think of it as a 4 chord, then you're in the key. You can do something modal, in the key of G, right? So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or even, I don't know, what would it sound like over a 2-5-1? It might sound cool. It might sound dumb because it's like not using a chord tone method of improv. It's just a tonal method of improv. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
2-5-1 and G.
Yeah, let's see. That's not
bad. It works.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, and then the A melodic minor. Let's see. Could work too,
What I really like about this, and what I kind of want to highlight here is, this is an example of an etude. The reason I really like your teaching style is because it's exploratory. You've explained a concept, and then, and some of the folks who are watching this may know some of the terminology that you're using, some may not, but the underlying principle that's really important is think of a concept and then experiment and be like, okay, well, what happens if I do a 2-5-1 in G, for instance?
Yeah.
And that style of discovery is really cool because I think a lot of teachers out there are just like, here's how you play the riff to Stairway to Heaven. You know what I mean? It's very prescriptive, and you model this form of like teaching by discovery kind of thing. I wonder, related to this, what are some rabbit holes that you've been going down recently?
Okay. So I think I told you this at lunch the other day. So the idea of working on your time by converting a scale, an arpeggio, a chord to a time, right? So there's, if you the 12 pitches in a chromatic scale, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So then you can convert it to time. Imagine you have 4 groups of triplets, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, okay? Or 16th notes in 3.
Yeah.
Or you can do, eighth notes in 6, I guess.
Yeah.
But 12 subdivision, it's actually a pretty common rhythm. You know the bembe rhythm, have you heard of that?
No,
It's like,
what is that?
it's the Afro-Cuban 6, you know, it goes like this, like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so
followed by
what
bossa nova.
I love about that is like, you can feel it in 4. It sounds like triplets in 4, like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, and it kind of calibrates every triplet. So you have to be really even on that second triplet and really even. You know, shuffle has that feel too.
The syncopation.
You know, does that make sense? Like
Makes
the,
yeah,
like
makes
the real pop, like real. I don't know, Texas shuffle
yeah,
maybe,
the,
like the
triplety shuffle
real
thing.
triplety shuffle, yeah.
Yeah.
Where everything is super, like quantized to the exact
Right.
triplet, you know, and
Unswung.
I feel, you know, it's funny. Like I think swing can be that as well, but like missing the, you know, or like the way Elvin Jones plays swing. Are you into Elvin Jones? Like
Not super into Elvin
So
Jones.
Elvin,
Oh.
like one of my favorite records is "Speak No Evil" by Wayne Shorter,
Yeah.
and the way Elvin plays swing, the whole band actually they I feel like they have that. You know, it's like let's see.
Yeah, it's sort of like heavy step swing in a way. It really.
So every, like, you can just play a swing, dun, 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 but all the middle notes are like.
You
I
can
love
feel
it,
the
yeah,
triplet kind
yeah.
of. Yep.
You know, it's like
it's
I
cool,
think
yeah.
it's cool to like work on your time, like, be super like sticky with the subdivisions, right? Like I
Yeah.
think Wayne Krantz is a big influence for that too. You know, Wayne Krantz, like, you know Wayne Krantz?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Love his time feel.
Yeah.
I feel Mark Lettieri got a lot of his time feel, like
From Wayne Krantz.
the being in the grid, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that tight pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the another way to work on your time is like, hey, as a thought experiment, what happens if I turn a chord into one of those rhythms, right? So if there's 12 subdivisions, give me a chord. Think of a chord.
A flat diminished.
Okay, that one's easy because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right?
Right, because they're equidistant.
Yeah. Now, if you do it in set theory, there's no 1, there's a 0 anyway. But anyway, like in set theory, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, T, E, or 10, 11. Yeah. But anyway, that's 12 subdivisions. So the diminished would be this, right? So if I do this, I can do an arpeggio.
And to clarify, basically for each of the beats in a 12 bar or 12 beat
subdivision thing, yeah.
thing, you're playing a note relative to the intervallic distance.
Yeah,
for
I
each
kind of
the
flew
chord
by
tones.
that, didn't I? Yeah.
So it's like if you've got a 1, 3, 5, and 7, and it's like a major 3, a perfect 5th, and a major 7th, for instance.
Right.
You would have an emphasis beat on 1.
Right. So the root is always the downbeat. And then the flat 2 is the second subdivision.
Yep.
The 2 is the third subdivision. The minor third is the fourth subdivision.
Yep.
And so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the diminished seventh chord is really rhythmically nothing special. It's just downbeats, right? If you do it in 4. If you do it in 3, it's like it's like a 4 or 3 polyrhythm. It's like pass the goddamn butter. Sorry. Stupid butter. It's a G-rated version, sorry. And the 4, oh, by the way, 4 over 3. If you're feeling 4 as dominant, it's no yelling on the bus. No yelling on the bus. Same rhythm.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that cool?
I haven't heard that one.
Or there's so many phrases, but like I did a bunch of Billy Madison quotes.
Yeah.
With all of my polyrhythms.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
I want to hear those.
Okay. But anyway, if you do this here. So let's see, you can test it and play a chromatic scale, and if they all line up and there's no like flamming or like rubs, you know.
Oh, that's a good one. Test. Wow, yeah, that's cool.
So pick another chord, pick a harder one.
A major 7.
Okay, major 7. So,
A augmented.
A augmented, okay.
Augmented major 7.
Augmented, okay, so we got a 1, a major 3rd, a sharp 5, and a major 7. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be root
1,
5, 2, 3. So it's going to be.
Got to count it out here.
It's going to be the second triplet of beat 2 is the major 3rd.
Yep.
The sharp 5 is the last triplet of beat 3.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then the major 7 is the very last subdivision, the 12th subdivision. So it's going to be like this. So this thought experiment, right? It might not make good music, but at least you're working on thinking of what the intervals are doing, right? So it's good for your brain. Mm-hmm. And then you're working on your time. Mm-hmm. So it's just a creative way to get better at music.
Yeah.
And you might stumble across a really cool idea that you can compose with. Mm-hmm. So, but anyways, there's. Okay, I got it. So now, test it with the chromatic scale.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
Yeah, you're just like working out the
necessarily a musical thing that you can do in front of like like a crowd.
Watch this. Yeah.
Like you're not gonna build your audience like a non-music friends, but it's something to work on,
Yeah, they say like blues musicians have 3 chords and thousands of people. Jazz musicians have like thousands of chords and 3 people in the audience.
That was 1 chord.
We're beyond.
We're beyond jazz
that. Yeah. So we have. I don't know. Hopefully there's at least one person out there watching still.
Here's another interesting trick. So the idea of like tonal improv, just using ideas. Like imagine you're playing. There's a blues idea in F sharp.
Yeah.
Here's a blues idea in D. Like major blues, right? So I'm kind of thinking of like I'm playing Mixolydian in a bluesy with a bluesy sass, right? And then I'm going to play a B flat blues idea. So here's what I'm going to see if I can do this right. So I'm going to go. I messed up. Sorry.
All right.
You don't have to edit that out. You can see me mess up. But it's like
so the sausage is made.
Okay, so I was in B. Anyway, it's the 5s of all the keys of giant steps. I was going to see if it works.
it's like revealing a magic trick.
I know.
It's,
Yeah,
it's so funny. At first, so the concept. Can you break down the concept for us one more time?
Sure,
you just
sure.
Did?
Yeah, so you just think of what key am I in?
Yeah.
And what can I do over a 1 chord? What could I do over a 2 chord? What could I do over a 3 chord? What could I do over? It's totally not the official way you're supposed to improvise, right? You're supposed to use your ear.
To the rule book.
Yeah,
of
you're
course,
supposed to use your ear. You're supposed to play the chord tones and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about, okay, what happens if I just play the right key?
Yeah.
If you just think I'm in B, and you just like, oh, I'm in B, right? It's going to sound very scaly, right? So working out like modal ideas that aren't just like mode shapes, right? So you think, like, what kind of ideas can I play over the 5 or over the 6 or over the 7 or whatever? And like that one, I'm thinking of these as 5 ideas, right? So this is the 5 of the key of B, so I can play like, and then it goes to the key of G, right? Or 5-1. So I'm just gonna play an idea just on the 5. Think of D. And then it goes to the key of E flat, so I'm in the 5 of E flat. So
always addressing it from the 5.
Yeah. Now what happens is you get this like chromaticism. So I'm like, if I slide from the minor third to the major third on a 5 chord, like what people are hearing in the context of the real chord is like kind of like, which is not like
sliding
forbidden, it's like sliding into the major 7.
Yeah, the major 7.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
it makes total sense. Yeah. This is super cool. I think I'm super grateful that you came by and taught us some little gems, and I hope that the biggest takeaway from this is really the way that you seem to explore music. And you've been obviously teaching at University of North Texas for a long time. You've had tons and tons of students. Go study with him online. He's amazing. And the principle that you either teach verbally or non-verbally is something that you demonstrate yourself, right? The way that you seem to learn and explore music is. And
I have to give a shout out to Mick Goodrick. Mick Goodrick's books definitely was a big influence. Is that attitude of exploration? Mick Goodrick is Mick Goodrick. The Advancing Guitarist is one of the greatest books for guitar. Yeah, it's a great book.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming through, and hope to have you again on the show.
Man, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.